So we start off, we're going for a nice, me and our buddy Charlie, going for a nice little buddy walk, as you can see, through woods, chuffing, moody skies, but beautiful. Little bits of bloody blue sky and sunshine, birds are chuffing, tweeting, little animals, little bloody squirrels chuffing, rustling around and all that bloody shenanigans. Basically, absolute beautiful little walk. And then guess what happens? Gets to the park, what happens? Chuffing cock and bollocks. Look at that, graffiti all over the bloody place, great big pair of chuffing plums. Get it bunged in chuffing rule 10 chuffing 1. Alternatively, sunshines, sweethearts. My chuffing garden this morning. Got me sent a bloody coffee poured out from chuffing espresso. Utilised bloody Charlotte's bloody hotel bloody chocolate for chuffing frothy milk. I just had a chill out, looking at the chuffing trees, blowing in the chuffing wind. No graffiti, no chuffing litter. Just a lovely chuffing garden. I just freshly cut chuffing grass. That's what you want. Hello, sunshines, sweethearts. Welcome to another instalment. Chuffing big old chuffing Quickshot, and I'll stick an argos in for a chuffing tea. Now, I'll not make too much of a chuffing big deal about what we just chuffing saying. But, you know, leave some comments in chuffing comment box on YouTube. I think when you take your young son, I mean, my son's 8 years old, and some kids that go there, like 1 year old, 2 year old babies, little tiny chuffing tots. They don't need to be saying stuff like that. I know it happens, I know it's always happened, it always will happen. Don't make it right. You know, there's a chuffing time and a place. If you want to draw a great big chuffing cock and bollocks in a chuffing pub that's got chuffing adults in there, it might give them a bit of a chuffing chuckle. But don't do it in a kids' chuffing park where there's little chuffing tadders running around. It's disrespectful to kids. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be doing... I just realised it's been a while since I've done a chuffing malt whiskey review. A few episodes back. You know, so I think it's about time we chuffing got involved and I got another chuffing malt whiskey on the go. So, what we're looking at today, part of obviously the big old chuffing miniature series, chuffing Deanston 12 single malt whiskey. Now this little bad boy here, could I just let you have a little, oops, you need to bring it right way, otherwise I can't chuffing. You see the camera's over here, it's not over there, it's over here. There you go. Obviously, little bottle. I'll just give you, there's limited information on these chuffing small bottles, but I'll tell you what it says. It says Deanston Island Single Malt Scotch Whisky. It's 12 years old and it's 46.3% product Wisconsin. So it's chuffing got some bloody bite to it, you know what I mean? I'll be bloody faint out of this. I'm glad now, looking at that and looking at chuffing presented, I've just cut chuffing grass. Because if I'd have had this first and then I'd have chuffing cut grass, I'd have probably took all chuffing flower tops off. All bloody Canoma on episode, otherwise I'd probably take his head chuffing clean off, bless him. So, right, I wrote down a few little things. Obviously, Deanston 12 Ireland, 46.3%. It's non-chill filtered, so that's always a good thing. It's aged in ex-bourbon cask for 12 years, so there's no finishing on it. It's just completely, totally and utterly in those chuffing ex-bourbon casks. And the ingredients is water, malted barley and yeast. Now, I insist, I absolutely insist, because I care about my subscribers and my viewers. When you've watched this review with me with the Deanston 12, with my chuffing limited chuffing lack of expertise on it, you know, I'm just like I say, I'm an enthusiast who likes his whiskey and likes to share it with you, but I'm no expert. Get yourself on the chuffing whiskey buffet with a chuffing guy there called chuffing middle-aged dude with a chuffing cap on his just called chuffing Ralphie, because he knows, he seriously knows his chuffing whiskey. You know, if Ralphie is like, just to use like a kind of way of describing it, if Ralph is like Eric Clapton or chuffing Mark Knopfler or chuffing Carlos chuffing Sultana, then I'm like chuffing Bertweed and chuffing Sausage Dog. You know what I mean? This is the difference in level of expertise. Now, it says it is actually made on the River Teith. It's funny because when I read that, I had a dream overnight. And in my dream, I'm walking through chuffing countryside. And I wrote down here, there was a chuffing river full of teeth, there was a lake full of tongues, and a chuffing pond full of chuffing adenoids. I'm glad I woke up in a chuffing cold sweat. It was chuffing terrifying. Now, another thing with Ralphie, he doesn't bother like I do to do all this chuffing research. He's drunk so many whiskies in his chuffing life, and seriously knows what he's doing. He don't need the notes like I know. I mean, I've wrote down here, knows summer malted cereal, Rich creamy toffee and honeyed ever, balanced with sweet oak and barley sugar. Palate, smooth, creamy sweetness with sumptuous hints of fruit, malty, honeyed spice and soft chuff and vanilla. And on the finish, you're looking at crisp and satisfied with a chuffing single of the cloves, which linger and then gently chuff and fade away. Now I use these and then I drink it and then I think, can I taste this? Sometimes it's blatantly obvious. Some of them are very, very easy to chuff and decipher. The ones that are very, very complicated or have slightly more abstract or weird or limited kind of flavours, unusual flavours, I sometimes struggle to put words to it. I end up saying it's like sweet, it's this, it's that basic kind of stuff. For Alfie, he don't use all these chuffing notes. He just gets it down, wrap round his chuffing clacker, and he can read it like a chuffing book, you know what I mean? He speaks the language of whiskey. One last kind of nod to the guy, the Whiskey Boffy, a guy called Chuffing Ralphie, check him out. He also suggested as well, I mean, I kind of do this anyway, of adding water. So what I tend to do before I have a whiskey is to get my glass, is to go up to the chuffing sink, turn the chuffing tap on, just to rinse glass out, and I usually go like this. But there's residual water still left in the chuffing glass. So it's never, none of my whiskies or alcoholic drinks, shorts I ever drink are completely devoid of water. If I've got a little bit of water in. But because of Ralphie's suggestion, I've just put like half a chuffing teaspoon of chuffing water in here. So we're going to drink it neat, or as neat as you can get it, with that little bit of water that's still in the bottom there. See what it smells and tastes like that then. We're going to follow Chuffing Ralphie's advice. We're going to stick that in and see how it chuffing changes. If I notice any kind of change. Right, so, ladies and gentlemen, we have further chuffing to do. Deanston chuffing as well. It's a nice day out there today, actually. Builder's not out there today. Chuffing, sick of them chuffing knocking about. Making a night chuffing. I thought I'd get it back today. Because I've got this old chuffing lawnmower. Used to belong to me chuffing dad. It's about 55 chuffing years old. It's all chuffing mouthfeel. Indestructible. But it's seen chuffing better days. When you first crank it up, it's going... So I thought chuffing had to let neighbours have some chuffing back, you know what I mean? What was it how chuffing comes it at? Right, let's not agitate too chuffing much, because at 46 point bloody 3% we don't win me chuffing messing about it. Right, let's have a chuffing. Left nostril, right nostril, lips, chin, left ear, right ear, left nipple, right nipple, chuffing belly bin, way around the old chuffing sweetmeats. Let's bloody get involved. See what we can get from this chuffing Deanston, chuffing 12-year-old, chuffing bourbon bloody cast bloody bonanza. For that strength, for the strength that it is, that nose actually is quite gentle. It's not too, because usually you get these like kind of 46s and above, sometimes 50s and stuff like that. They're chuffing. Your hat ends up chuffing hitting the ceiling, your sunglasses come flying off, half your teeth chuffing fall out, and that's just with chuffing smelling them. But this one is, it's a nice smell. I can smell like a kind of subtle chuffing, I don't know if it mentions all about it here, but a kind of subtle citrusy, almost like a lemon or something. You can smell the sweetness. Yeah, there is something in there that I think it will be a little bit fiery. I could be wrong, but it could be a little bit fiery. Anyway, it smells good. It smells enticing. You know, I quite fancy this one. I'm looking forward to this chuffing dinner. You know what I mean? So here we go, without further ado. Good help. It's interesting and slightly unusual. The alcohol is evident there, the power, because it goes boof. As soon as you put it on your tongue, it just expands rapidly. It just bang, it completely fills my chuff. I've got quite a cavernous chuffing gob, and all that was chuffing. My cheeks were puffing out there. But it's a good flavour. One last little sip, tiny sip, because I don't want to overwater it. One last tiny little sip, neat, and then we'll add a bit of water and we'll see how it changes. It's a bit creamy. It's a bit creamy. You can taste that chuffing malt. And there's a little bit of sweetness, but the air is that it's hitting my palate, and especially the roof of my mouth. There is a bitterness to it, but it's not unpleasant. You know, I can quite happily handle that. I could see that it's really, For that power, it's quite even neat, or with that limited amount of water, it's a smooth little number. You could have 2 or 3 of them quite happily. You'd probably end up getting chuffing pissed on that. You know, if you have mates, like, shall we have another one? Yeah, why not? Shall we have another one? Yeah, why? It's one of those kind of whiskers. So, I can't taste no peat, and you can tell that it's just that bourbon finish. Absolutely no wine or sherry or port or Madeira or any of these kind of chuffing things. That is just, because the Quickshot-ep, they have the Quickshot-ep one as well, which is just like American. But that one's not aged for as long as this. So the flavour profile is slightly different. I think the bitterness is probably coming from that duration of just being in that barrel for 12 years. So you start to really taste that kind of slightly sour, slightly bitter element of the chuffing. Oh, but I like it. I like it. It's a good drink. Right, let's get this poured in here now, just a little bit. And we'll just let it chuffing sit for a second, and we'll just... In fact, let's not even chuffing talk. Because I start to get into my chuffing meditation now. Mindfulness. Because I've always been a mindful kind of person. You know what I mean? I'm not just this chuffing, steaming, chuffing lunatic. Let's sit in a little bit of still quietness before we chuffing sniff and taste this little thing here. Bit chuffing boring, isn't it? Right, let's get chuffing involved. Let's have a little chuffing sniff. Yeah. I would say, if anything, it's, thanks Ralphie, it's opened it up. There's more smell coming out, but it's not got that kind of, where you could almost smell that it'd have a halfway decent alcohol attack. That's kind of almost like kind of chuffing burnt off. It's become more of a sweet, liquidy type smell. But really nice. Cheers, right, let's have a little chuffing gulp. He knows his stuff. Infinitely better. So, when you start watching me today, get chuffing Ralphie on. Watch his version of this chuffing Deanston, chuffing 12 and see the difference, you know what I mean? The chuffing man's a chuffing god. He's a good lad. Get yourself a bottle of this. It's not that expensive. Like he says, it's better than chuffing supermarket, chuffing shite. So get yourself a bottle of this. Try it out first. Because some people, we're all unique, we're all individuals. Some people will probably prefer it neat. They'll prefer the flavour profile. All as pallets, all as chuffing tonsils and chuffing crackers. Chuffing different. We're like chuffing snowflakes. So try it neat first. Try it with the water and see which one you chuffing prefer. Me personally, it's better with just that tiny little bit of chuffing water. Now, have a great chuffing day and a great life, and I'll chuffing catch you later, sunshine and sweethearts. Peace!